The Hamish and Andy Show podcast.
3, 2, 1.
I'm a busker and I've been singing cover songs all day. I really should have been singing about
the People's Island.
So I've tweeted about my hair. I've tweeted about my shoes. I think it's time I tweet about...
No, they didn't. Yes, the People's Island.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
The People's Republic of Ireland. No, just the People's Island.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you with a spring in our step. But their nervous steps have.
What a day, Ando.
Yes.
What a day. And we want to bring you fully up to speed.
Yeah.
It started off with probably an innocent topic.
Yeah.
Selected by the supercomputer here. We only do one topic a day traditionally on the happy hour.
Yeah.
A topic came up. What about islands? Oh, yeah, Gilligan's Island, survivors on an island.
Yeah, traffic islands.
Oh, maybe as a kid, I think I went to an island in Fiji for a family holiday. Surely a good hour of chat and people's stories and thoughts would abound until you and I had a conversation a few hours ago when we got in that was exactly the same. And I casually mentioned to you, I've actually been up all night looking at islands for sale on the internet.
And my response was,
So have I. And there an idea was born, ladies and gentlemen. Could the happy hour possibly find on this small blue marble in the Milky Way somewhere for sale an island we could buy?
It'd only have to be a freckle on the body that is this world.
Just a tiny little bit of it. We're not asking for a lot. We don't want a Branson Island.
No.
Just an uninhabited scrap of beach and a tuft of hill.
Yes.
Is that too much to ask, ladies and gentlemen, that we get our own island, please?
We'll find out after this. The happy hour, Hamish and Andy. Thank you for joining us. A momentous occasion. Today the topic is the People's Island because, Haim, you and I, overnight, did exactly the same thing. Had the exact same thought, unbeknownst to both of us.
What if we bought an island? Now, it sounds outrageous, and when you search for it, it is, because, of course, the ones that are advertised are all like 5 million, 10 million, Johnny Depp, couldn't have this one.
Yeah, exactly.
The Prince of Monaco invited Johnny Depp over the auction and just stood on the castle turrets and urinated at him and said, "That's what I think of you, Depp.
Yeah.
You can't have my island." So there's that whole island crowd, which don't get us wrong, we want to belong to.
Yeah.
But we know that's super high stakes.
Yeah, exactly.
So if that's high stakes poker, we are looking to play hopscotch out the front of the casino.
Exactly.
We want just something to get us on the board.
Exactly.
Get a foot in the door. We know we can't go and buy an inner city penthouse.
No, but if we buy...
Is there something on the outskirts of town, with like a car park, that we could go halves in with all the show's money, and eventually we work our way up the property ladder? That's what we're doing on an island level.
Scale, yes.
And there's never been a better time. The real estate's going bananas at the moment, Ando.
So
I just think it's time to get in.
Did you have an island in mind?
So I remember this is where I walked up to the internet completely unaware. I was just completely you know what? Think about when you're in a plane or something, you see all these just little tufts of rock in the middle of nowhere. Like, what would they be, like 10 grand, maybe $5 grand, $100? Were they free to a good home? I don't know. But then you go, no, it is a piece of the earth. Then no one's given them away, and then you don't even know who owns them. But I did remember hearing, wasn't there a few years ago just a crazy thing about, hey, it's not as insane to own your own island as you think it is. And then I remembered those were GFC stories. So that was more like, this used to be 20 million, now it's 10 million. Still out of control. I just started Googling cheapest island on the planet.
Yeah.
Something came up off the coast of Brazil for 12 and a half grand.
Australian?
Yeah. Oh, US.
US.
So,
okay,
add a little bit for Aussie.
Yeah.
I think it's a hoax. I've emailed the guy.
Okay.
Because it's got a hut and water and power. And trust us, guys, I've looked at a lot of islands now.
Yeah.
If it's got water and power, you're already talking fancy town.
Yeah.
So 12 and a half grand's ridiculous. It's insane. I haven't seen one even within that. I think it was the article I found was this guy that's just the legal fees for the island. He had a bad divorce and he was trying to burn his wife. So unfortunately that was from 2009. I think we've missed that one.
Okay.
However, we made a deal, didn't we? We said bring a few islands to the show and pitch them to each other. and see if there's something that gets our attention.
Do you want to go first or me too?
You go first.
Little Monkey Key.
Sounds nice.
It's in the Caribbean.
Great.
Yeah. It's small. It's the cheapest I could find. It's only 0.75 acres.
That's tiny.
It's really, really tiny.
That's some suburban blocks are nudging that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say most suburban houses
I think suburban blocks are quarter acre block.
Are they?
So you could fit 3. I think I could fit 3 of the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
On that home, on that island, although I imagine materials and labour and getting stuff there would be difficult. Because it doesn't say, if it's the cheapest you could find, I don't think we're looking out and seeing like Ellen partying on her yacht. Are we?
No, it's located off the
Jay-Z and Beyonce ever stay there?
Well, no, there's nothing on it, but there is, and I counted them because there's an aerial shot of it. Mm-hmm. There's 11 palm trees, and it's just sand.
What are we talking?
$55,000 US. If we structure it well, I reckon we can hang 19 hammocks.
I really like that. Here's the thing,
so
though.
You and
we're
I,
not
Jack,
mucking
can have
around.
a hammock.
We're not mucking around here. This is a big deal for Anna. And I know sometimes we make silly claims and impulse buys.
Yeah.
What we'd be talking about here is spending
19
all of
hammocks as the sun kind of twists.
Hang to a tree, top and bottom.
Okay,
bunk hammock.
Bunk hammocks with a little step ladder on the side.
But reassure the people here, Andy.
So
we're talking about spending...
It could sleep then, 38 people.
We're talking about spending all the people's money. We're spending all the show's money.
Yeah, all our money.
What's our money? But I mean, there would be nothing else for the rest of the year.
No, we can't have any other.
We'd have to auction off 10 watches.
Yeah.
That's 10 gold-coloured watches gone. We'd have to give them to the highest bidder. We'd have to accept the fact that someone might buy 3 and get a sombrero. We'd have to really be looking at like 50 grand is probably the absolute maximum we can spend.
We've got to go to a song, but when we come back and I would love to hear your island suggestions. In fact, it would be good to chat to someone who knows about islands.
All right, let's get an island real estate agent. And I've got 2 that I want to throw at you. One is 850 kilometres south of New Zealand, and 2 people got shipwrecked there trying to get to it 2 years ago, so that's off. Okay. I'm seeing that as a bad omen.
We've just decided that we might want to buy an island.
It's sounding like more and more of a great idea.
Yeah.
No other radio show, I promise you this, no other radio show has their own island.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean...
I guess not.
I guess...
I mean, you've got Tasmanian radio shows, but that doesn't count because other people live on Tasmania. We're talking about owning the whole island.
So, Haim, we just heard that I suggested one in the Caribbean.
I like it. I mean, we've decided, I don't know why, $50,000 is our budget.
But yeah.
Because that is a heck of a lot of money, Ando.
But that's what, 55. We could probably negotiate it down. 55.
How long has it been on the market?
I don't know.
Because you can't imagine they're like inner city apartments.
From the photo,
they don't pop up for 4 weeks. Have a good campaign on realestate.com.
From the photos,
it looks old.
And
it's as old as an island. It's as old as the Earth.
The for sale sign on the middle of the island looks a bit weathered.
Yeah. And not a lot of passing by, not a lot of foot traffic.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You won't have many open for inspections. Here's the thing, though, Ando. Again, I'm reiterating, just in case people aren't a hundo on this. This would be amazing to do.
Yeah.
It would require a silly financial decision
from you and I.
We'd have to convince the station to give money. We'd probably have to get a sponsor. We'd have to say to Grumpy Dave.
Dave's never going to give us money for an island.
We'd just have to say we can't. We promise not to do anything else for however many years we remain on radio. There'll be no giveaways, no nothing. It might be 5 years from now. We're going. Well, as everyone knows, we bought that island.
So we can't
We've never been
to Black Eyed Peas.
No one's allowed to come and watch Gap Year. You're not allowed even to have a CD. Everything has been shut down because we bought the island. Doesn't matter. We live in
which one are you
the station's got the money, Ando. Trust me. I want to tell you where it is first, and then I'll give you the name, because I think the name's actually a bad sell.
Okay.
Nova Scotia, Canada.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's actually quite a few in Nova Scotia.
Yep.
I don't know if that's because it's a bit of a dump, or because it's so islandy.
Yeah.
That, the market's flooded.
Yeah.
It is. What are we talking here? Pretty big. It's it's not huge. 6 acres.
That's great.
It's big.
That's
good fit. We'd have a party on it for sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty close to the shore. It's in a bay, so
okay,
you can
sure.
you could paddle
close to a mainland or something.
Yeah, the mainland of Nova Scotia, which I think is a mainland.
Yeah.
Do you even know where Nova Scotia is?
No,
I googled it. Obviously,
Yeah.
It's up and to the right. It's on the right side of Canada.
So close to Alaska.
It's actually no. Alaska's on the other side. Alaska's on the left. So it's on the right side. It's probably this thing's probably only about 400 k's from Boston.
Yeah. Probably.
Not a bad little bus ride into Boston if we need supplies, and we will because it's completely exposed and freezing, I assume.
Yeah, it seems colder there than it would, say, in the Caribbean.
It'd be freezing. This would be more of it. It used to have a gold mining thing on it. There's nothing there anymore.
How much?
They said that there still could be gold on the island. So it could be a gold mining island. I want you to think about the fact that essentially comes
how much are they charging?
66,000 Canadian.
Okay,
which
so
is
close.
We're 1-to-1 with Canada.
Yeah. But for that to be close to 55-ish, for the Caribbean island. Oh, we got Richard Van Hoff joins us now. He is a real estate agent of islands. This is exciting. Richard, have you heard what we've just been discussing?
I've heard it, yep.
Great.
What do you think of that Nova Scotia one? Not too bad?
Mate, it's great if you're an Eskimo.
Yeah, too cold.
Yeah, but it's got a gold mine on it, maybe.
So, yeah, well, that's. I think that's just a few coins that somebody's dropped.
Every little bit helps. We are trying to save up to buy an island.
Richard, how do you become a real estate agent of just islands, and how many islands are you moving a year?
It's the best job in the world, but the lousiest payer.
Yeah,
let
right.
me tell you. We don't sell too many, but look, it's an exciting business. We've enjoyed it for the last 10 years, my wife and myself.
You shouldn't have told us you're not selling many, mate, because now we are right as a buyer.
I'm not sure we do want one.
let me say, not in Nova Scotia, but here in Australia, a little bit different.
Well,
Yeah, right.
I mean, do we have? I've struggled to find decent islands.
What's the cheapest
I've
island
struggled
in
to find cheap ones. There's, Hamilton Island and things like that people are trying to sell. Turtle Island.
What's the cheapest one in Australia at the moment?
650,000. Now that's not too bad. You guys can afford that.
Some $600,000 north of our limit.
Do you?
Would you be willing to come down 6-ish?
Hey, Richard, if we came back to you in like 25 minutes,
Could you get a little list together?
Would you be able to have a little look around and see if there's anything worldwide that might be more in our price bracket?
I can give it a shot. Look,
Fantastic.
What's the cheapest island you've sold?
Cheapest, up to date, probably about $2.5 million. I know.
This is so frustrating because I've looked online. You actually don't get a lot for $2.5 million. This market. The market industry is kind of annoying me, but I'm also deeply in love with it. I'm an island fan.
All right, we'll check back in with you in 25 minutes.
Thanks,
Richard.
Rich.
Yeah, no
How
problem.
much commission would you get off a $50,000 island? Like $500.
Enough for the bus fare, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure how hard he's going to be working for it.
Well, chuck in an extra 65 to put a little rocket under you.
All right, we'll be back in touch with Richard. The island purchase.
$65 that was, Richard, just in case you thought we were still talking thousands.
We'll continue, Ham, our discussions to happy hour.
We're not finished.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point of
It's the happy hour. Hamish and Andy with you. We're in the middle, Ham, of discussing the People's Island. Overnight, you and I both had the same idea and the same thought, and were perplexed when we brought up together this morning, being maybe the show needs its own island.
Sorry, and I'm just glued to the screen.
I know, you've just been looking at...
I am so excited. We just talked to an island real estate agent, and he kind of gave us what he thought he was going to give us.
We're going to check back in with him in about 20 minutes' time, and he will give us a list of islands we can potentially purchase.
I refuse to believe. He said the cheapest island he's ever sold is $2.5 million.
Yep.
We've quite clearly stated our budget is 50,000.
Yes, which is a lot.
Which is crazy. Yeah. And the thing is, I think because I'm going, this is madness. This is insane. That's so much money.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that if I am okay with that, like if I can get myself to a place where I'm okay with 50,000, then the world should open up before me.
Yeah.
So it's very frustrating to be in this thing of going, but hang on. I'm doing this thing that's all the money the show will ever have and it could ever imagine being given by the station.
But I'm 30 times off where I need to be.
Plus, probably a lot of our own money. Yeah. And like we'd be scuttling ourselves financially for the sake of this exciting adventure.
Yeah.
And yet that doesn't even buy us a ticket in the door to window shop.
I feel we should up it to 65.
Okay, let's just slow down.
I know this is normally
what happens at auctions.
your head, but I'm excited.
But where
about
are we
this.
getting this money from?
It's just
money. We'll figure it out
the
later.
joint account.
All right, let's just. Yeah, that's true. I suppose Harvard.
You bought a Bitcoin.
Yeah, but that was only $1,000.
It was $2,000. You bought one for the people,
and one for us, and we're going to have to sell that Bitcoin, mate. And unfortunately...
That was out of the joint account.
I know. Unfortunately, it's gone down by about 50%. So, I've been looking at this island in Nova Scotia. I didn't even get...
Islands are rock-solid investments.
They're not making any more land, mate. Except global warming has... It turns out had a little bit of an impact to your island. Would you like to tell everyone what we realised? You were looking at this thing called Monkey Key.
Yeah, Little Monkey Key.
And it was in the Bahamas. It was $55,000 US.
I thought it had room for 38 hammocks.
Andy showed me the picture. It looked exquisite. There's 19 palm trees on it, crystal blue waters. Yeah. Just essentially exactly what we're after, a sandbank in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And then upon further inspection, we realised that's not the island. That's the stock picture they're using for Caribbean islands online.
Yes, Caribbean Island Brokers. That's almost their logo.
So that's we were looking at the logo, unfortunately, and when we looked at the actual pictures of the island...
Yeah, there ain't much
I'm
land.
not sure there's any land visible above sea level. It just looked like the tops of trees and mangroves.
So at this stage we can get a swamp.
We can buy a floating swamp for 55 grand, which is suddenly making my island in Nova Scotia look all the better in Canada. Now, I might have said it's 400 k's from Boston. Upon closer looking at Google Maps, it's 930 kilometres drive from Boston. That's still not terrible. You do it in a day.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And I've just gone out for a 2-day Boston run. You stay here mining for gold.
I can get here. I can get there. I can fly there in the same amount of time.
True.
And save.
Yeah.
Save.
That's
I could probably do it.
If you're at our island, if you're at Hamish and Andy Island, and I wanted to meet you in Boston, and I was in Australia, I could probably meet you there by flying. Doesn't matter though. Hamish and Andy Island currently has a name, and I didn't give it to you before because I was hoping you'd get psyched up
and in Nova Scotia
and pumped about
in Canada.
Yes.
What's the name of their island?
Hurricane Hole Island.
We're not doing that. Let's go to Fiji.
Acres.
Let's just tell Richard Van Hoff.
All right.
We're interested in Fiji and Islands.
I know we've got to go to a break, but can I actually excite you with one other thing?
Okay.
So I wanted an Australian island.
Mm-hmm.
I found something.
Great.
It's not uninhabited.
Okay.
But it's bloody cheap.
Tasmania.
No. Australia's forgotten island. An island, Andy, called Russell Island.
Where is it?
It's between the mainland of Queensland and North and South Stradbroke Island.
Okay.
I think it's mostly retirees. Give it a go.
I'm not giving it a go.
It's only 16
I'm
grand.
giving it a no.
So, great. So we're not buying a block of land on Russell Island.
No, we're not.
This is not gone the way.
Richard Van Hoff is going to come back to us.
That's it. No Russell Island.
No Russell Island.
I honestly thought that after we had to be a bit realistic to go. We might not be able to.
Then we just own
join
a house.
No, we don't. We own land
on an island.
On an island.
Your
near
house,
Stradbroke.
Your house you currently own is land on an island.
Yeah, but not near Stradbroke.
It's
and it doesn't.
The happy hour. Our real estate agent's coming back. 15 minutes away. The People's Island has been the topic today because, Haim, you and I overnight had the same thought, which is strange, and it wasn't food related. It was maybe you and I should, loosen the old joint account purse
Have
strings.
a look at the joint account, petition Grumpy Dave, shake the old money tree here at the radio station.
And buy an island.
With no sort of real financial sense to any of this, but forget about that for a second because it is just money and you can't really put a price on a good idea. Well, you can, as it turns out. But we sort of thought somewhere in the ballpark of, $50,000.
I want to bump it up to 65, but we won't tell our real estate agent.
Well, $65,000. Look, it's a huge amount of money. We're not mucking around here.
Yeah.
But it's an investment, and it gets you an island somewhere on the planet. Once we got over the sickening shock of how much money we were prepared to spend on this, we thought the world would be our oyster, and we would at least have a few to select from. As it turns out, the private island world is frustratingly expensive.
There's one near swamp in the Caribbean.
We could buy the top of a swamp for 55 grand. Or you could buy. I quite like Hurricane Hole in Nova Scotia in Canada, which is 6 acres. Yeah. It's just off the mainland in Nova Scotia. It looks ferociously cold, but there's a chance there's a gold mine on it.
And that was 65,000, wasn't it? We could barter them down.
69.
Anyway, we spoke to a real estate agent of Ireland.
Not giving up on this. And I also suggested, Ando, let's not forget Russell Island in Queensland.
I've forgotten that one. And
it's full of retirees, but you can get a plot of land there for $16,000.
It's just buying a house in a normal situation.
It's not a house. It is just land.
Richard Van Hoff. Whenever I buy an island, I use Richard Van Hoff, and he joins us now. Richard.
What have you got for us, Hoff?
Mate, for $49,995, I've got a little island for you.
Oh! Now we're talking! Sold!
Back off! We're not sold. Now, whereabouts is it?
It's off Rockhampton. Do you know where Rockhampton is?
Oh, yeah. Yes. It's in Queensland.
We love Rocky.
Yeah.
Rock Vegas, mate. It's a centre of the universe here.
So 49,450. No, it's not sold. How big's the island?
It's about 2 acres.
That's good size. That's great.
This is amazing.
And
I've got a couple of cows.
Okay.
Bit of livestock. Yeah.
And is
Really?
there anything else on it?
No.
So it comes with the cows.
The cows included.
Comes with a cow and a mine, but it's not the gold mine, unfortunately. It comes with the iron mine.
A lot of money in iron.
Plenty of money. Just
I
ask
don't even think
BHP.
you could iron. Can you mine iron?
Yeah.
Don't you have to mine iron ore? Yep,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
take it. Take it before bloody Fortescue or someone sneaks in and steals it.
Okay, so how far off the coast of Rocky?
About 30 k's off the coast.
All right, so you'd need a boat, and you couldn't land a plane on 2 acres.
No. You could land a plane next door, which is the featured island of Marble Island.
Okay.
And it's just off Marble Island, which has got its own runway.
And
So who owns Marble Island?
Oh, a couple of graziers and stockbrokers.
And so they're willing to cut loose the iron mine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you've seen Game of Thrones, but the Iron Isles is I mean, it's not the prettiest of places, but it's a cool place.
Wow. Okay, so talk us through as well. What was the name of the island again?
Ironically, Iron Island.
It's Iron Island.
Island.
And then, and if we were to buy it, can we change the name?
You can change it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic.
Yeah, but
Who's the
Now
seller?
we might have to. Sorry, just before we talk about seller, there we might have to. Could you change the name to something like Hamish and Andy Island presented by Nando's or something? Because I mean, we might have to. Just to pay for it, we might have to just sneak in a sponsor. But is that possible?
I'm sure. If you fired 3 angry shots at Australia, you could succeed.
That is okay. So, talk us through who's the seller. Who would we have to go through?
It's a guy called Guy Jones.
Okay, and is he a hard bargainer? I mean, are we a chance to knock him down a little bit?
He's shocking.
Yeah, right.
Nice guy, but tough as nails.
Yeah, right.
How many cows are we talking on the
cackling Jackie?
2.
Two cows.
2 cows.
Good-looking cows, apparently.
Yeah, wonderful. That would make it a king and a queen, bull and a cow, or 2
Yeah,
queens.
apparently.
Is it a bull and a cow?
No, well, there's only been 2 of them for a few years, so I'd imagine the 2 cows are 2 bulls.
Yeah,
Jeez, that'd be amazing. There's the caretaker, because I was reading on a blog today, for some of your more like $5-6 million islands, they do say you should have a caretaker there. So do you think the cows would be interested in assuming the caretaker role?
Richard, can we talk to you tomorrow? Let's think about it overnight, Ham.
I think we do it.
There's one opinion, but Richard, this is fantastic news. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Cheers,
And
mate.
just for the sake of playing it cool, I don't know. Mate, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's all we've got time for this happy hour. Wow. We're really close to this happening, Haim. Let's have a think about it tonight.
I can't believe we almost spent $70,000 in Nova Scotia.
I can't believe we nearly bought
We
the
would
top
never
of the
have
swamp
gone there.
in the Caribbean. Anyway, tomorrow on the show, we'll follow this up. HamishAndy.com. Any of your thoughts? The podcast is there as well. Catch you tomorrow. Bye. Pretty pumped about this. If you've just tuned into the show, welcome and congratulations. You're hopefully about to own an island.
It all started yesterday, Ando, in a move that I think a lot of people thought was audacious, to say the best.
Yeah, except for Richard Branson. He texted us and said,
Branson
big whoop.
He said, look, you should listen to my podcast, Islands, and why I like buying them. And we said, we won't, Rich. We're very, very busy. We've got our own island to buy.
Yeah.
Talking about islands on the show yesterday, we both thought, look, would it be crazy to try and buy one of the world's cheapest islands? I mean, ideally, that's what we got to remember. Let's get our hopes up, but not too far, because we are talking about the cheapest possible island on the planet. Yeah. We thought, look, any money's a lot of money, but we can somehow make the radio station pay for this. And then at some point, the screws will be turned on Grumpy Dave. We're hoping to just get an invoice that just says one island. Yeah. And then the number at the end of that invoice is just as low as humanly possible. It did seem crazy.
We spoke to a real estate agent of islands, Richard Van Hoff. He joins us again now. Thank you for joining us, Richard.
Hey, no problem, boys.
Got everyone very excited with your talk of an island just off the coast of Middle Queensland, Rockhampton specifically.
Came in at the end of yesterday's show. It's an island adjacent to a much bigger, fancier island called Marble Island. That one actually has a house on it. But ours is called Iron Island. Is that right?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's the island.
Well, Richard, we said yesterday, look, we were very interested in pursuing. What news have you overnight?
A little bit of news, boys. We've got a little bit of red tape to go through, unfortunately, which is part of the government services up here.
How sharp are our scissors? Can we cut through it quickly and swiftly? Are they heated scissors? Normally helps.
That's so funny, because didn't a few hundred years ago, when Captain Cook came, he had no red tape getting his island.
Yeah, exactly. Feels like
so the system's changed.
One rule for cooks, different for the rest of us.
Unbelievable. Someone should look into that.
So
see if that was actually legal.
What is the red tape, Richard?
A little bit of red tape is suggesting that you've got to fill out a few forms. You've got to get a bit of ministerial approval. But apart from that, I think we can conquer all of that.
Ministerial approval? Does it say which minister?
Do I have to identify him?
Yeah. So what?
I know them all. If there's one thing I know, it's members of Parliament. So I can give you a bit of a bead on if he's good or bad, and if we can get to him.
Before we get to the person in question, why do we need ministry approval?
Oh, it's just one of those things. Unfortunately, the government just don't like to let things go too easy. So you've got to jump a few hurdles, unfortunately.
But hang on, why is the government...
Who owns this? I thought a farmer owned this island.
Yeah, look, when I rang him and I said, look, do you want to sell that little island on the end? He said, sure, yeah, look, we'll do that. And I explained to him the process. And then he then came back to me after we got a little bit serious. He said, I thought you were joking.
Oh, right.
So he said, we handed that back to the government some time ago. And
why would you hand it back? It's an island.
Yeah, but it's still on track. I've managed to resurrect the whole deal for you. But,
well done, Richard.
Yeah.
So my understanding then, Richard, is we're no longer trying to negotiate with a farmer, which we thought, to be honest, was going to be a cinch.
Great.
And now we're trying to buy this island off the government.
Yeah, you are.
I think the question on everyone's lips is... Are the cows, the two cows that you mentioned yesterday, are they still included in the deal, or are they federal cows now?
No, they're not state-held cows. Nobody's actually claimed the ownership of those cows, so I guess we can call them Hamish and Andy cows.
So the cows are still on the table.
That's good news.
Well, then I'm still at the table, because if the cows are off the table, you won't find H. Blake at the table.
If they've squatted there long enough, they may own the island.
The cows might own the island.
Which would be a great negotiation. So, Richard, what's the next step there? And this seems to...
the next step is that we've got the applications coming in, and I'm going to help you guys out and fill out most of the information, because a lot of it is just a lot of rhetoric. But the few little lines that mean everything is that, so they'll approve, in principle, the ownership of the island by Hamish and Andy.
Wow. And how long? I mean, when can we expect to
money.
Try and get an approval?
Yeah. Money, money.
It's an annual renewal, so it'll be on a yearly basis. So you can have it for 1 year, 99 years.
Oh, hang on! So we could lease it. We could Hong Kong this. We could do like an England did with Hong Kong. We could Hong Kong it,
lease it off China for 99 years,
and then we have to give it back to China once we've bloody built it up.
Okay.
Oh, they'd like that, wouldn't they?
Well, let's take. We'd want to be interested in 99 when we have.
Yeah, So let's look at a 99-year lease. Yeah. And we'll put it on direct debit or something, so it renews everything. What? So what's? I suppose can we talk openly about money?
We've got to go to a song. Can we come back, Richard? Would you mind sticking around? We've just got a few more questions for you after this.
Oh, I'd love to.
Okay,
cheers.
Great. Thank you.
More with Richard Van Hoff, our island real estate agent. Straight after this, the happy hour. Exciting times. We are still joined on the line by Richard Van Hoff. He is the number one person if you're purchasing an island.
He's our island real estate agent. Really, he's the people's agent.
Exactly. And we are hoping to purchase the show's first island.
So let's bring everyone up to speed, Richard. If you'll excuse us for a second, this is obviously stuff you know intimately, but yesterday on the show, the idea came up for an island. Initially, things were silly. We're talking Caribbean, Nova Scotia in Canada. Crazy talk, Ando. Looking back on it, the kind of chat real island buying rookies do.
Idiots.
Then things got serious. Richard called us. He said, I've got a potential property. It's a small island off a slightly bigger island.
Off an even greater island, which is Australia. Yeah.
Much more convenient to us. It's called Iron Island, which is exciting for us as Game of Thrones fans because it sounds a bit like the Iron Isles. And we can wear furs, I'm sure, and just be, generally nutbags on there. Here's the thing, though. Richard, are we right in saying we're looking potentially at a 99-year lease because that would stop us having to buy it from the government, which would cut out a lot of red tape?
Potentially, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
A couple of questions,
I love a loophole.
A couple of questions came up.
More than I love a free cow.
We know that there's a couple of cows on there, which is going to be great. Disused iron mine, which is good.
Rich, have you seen the island recently? I mean, could we get the mine back up and running?
Mate, I don't know. I mean, I had a look at the map yesterday on a cartooning map, and it had two picks crossing each other. So that indicated that there was still mine activity, but there was no one there from my history.
2 picks is a good sign. All right.
Richard, as far as the money involved, how much does it cost, you reckon? And can you negotiate with the government with regards to a small island?
To get the lease.
Yeah, well, we have to negotiate a price, but I think it's still within your budget.
Oh, fantastic news. What about naming rights?
We're just going to squeeze the radio station here. And if we have to call the island bloody Nando's Island, Swatch Island, VB Island, if we have to give it a different name every year, just depending on who we're squeezing for money, we'll do that, Richard. We're totally for sale. That's one of the big policies of the show.
It has been for some years. Richard, naming rights then. I mean, Hamish just touched on it then. We might need to find some. But if we buy a lease from the government, what happens with naming or renaming an island, even though we love the name?
We haven't quite got through that process, but I'm recalling an involvement I was with probably about 2 years ago where they changed a name of Pumpkin Island to 4X Island on the off the coast here. So
that's right.
If that can be done, I suppose we can. We shouldn't have a problem with Hamish and Andy Island.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it'd be a better name than that, we'd hope.
I mean, I like Hamish and Amsterdam. I mean, it does give it, just sort of has the feel that it's its own country. And I mean, if we are Hong Konging this thing, if we are coming in and getting a 99-year lease on it, you would think that we could give it its own name.
It just feels a bit dictatorship of us just to name it after ourselves.
Yeah, well, we have 2 servants with the cows. All right, what about this, Rich? We might need a lawyer for this, but once we have control of the island, we would be very interested in talking to one James Packer about building a casino on the island. We know he's interested.
Yeah.
He's done it in Macau, which is in Hong Kong.
Yeah, and we've got 2 cows.
we've got my cow, your cow. So we're all about having cows. Do you reckon does the island look big enough to sustain a moderate casino? Probably just, 2 or 3 table games and a small venue for pokies and I suppose a cloakroom.
Oh, mate, I think you could just come up with a pool table, probably to be the biggest you could operate there.
We might have to fill in the mine.
We might have to be the world's first underground casino. You could just throw craps dice down the mine and have someone at the bottom yelling back up what happened.
Richard, we'll leave you there. Thank you very much. We'll come back to you in the next few days.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. But this is big. So can we say we're looking very good for a 99-year lease of this island?
I think we can say that. Absolutely.
I think I'm saying it.
It's all we've got time for today. Very good thanks to Richard Van Hoff. We'll chat to him next few days, Ham. Sorry we didn't get a chance to get to Jazz Chat. Island Chat definitely took us over.
Read the rule book. It supersedes. But tell your friends. Tell your mum. Tell your dad. Tell your sister to tell your mum and your dad as well so they hear it twice. We think you might have an island.
Exactly. HamishAndy.com for any other suggestions that you think may be applicable to your island.
And just write a letter to the island if you're overwhelmed with emotion. Just do a bit of fan mail to the island.
We'll catch you Monday, everyone.
Have a great weekend, island owners.
Monday time, Ham.
It is Monday time, Andy, because it's a Monday.
Yeah.
And for a whole week, country has lived in fear as
particularly despots.
Despots would be annoyed.
Dictators.
Anyone that's a dictator, anyone that's perhaps running an orphanage illegally and using the children to pickpocket.
Yep. A racket.
Racketeering has probably been soaring throughout the week, whilst at the same time the racketeers would have been trembling. Cattle rustlers would be annoyed that I am just about to get things going again because it is time for me to uncover half-truths, crimes, disappointments.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
I wondered where you stood on forgeries.
Forgeries, because that's a half-truth.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Lies.
It's a whole untruth.
Misconceptions and deceptions.
Yeah.
Corporate gouging and espionage is something that I'll pay attention to in this particular segment. Backstabbing. Political backstabbing or international backstabbing or just backstabbing between friends.
Social backstabbing. Yeah. Anyway, it's all under the umbrella
cyberbullying, anything. Anyway, I will blow all these things wide open in a segment called
Stand Back!
She's set to blow!
Look out!
Fire in the hole! Hamish is blowing this wide open! Amazing!
He's done it again!
Oh, what a great guy.
Sounds a little bit like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire at the end, doesn't it? The dun, 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 dun.
And it's probably about as exciting because each week you don't know what's going to be blown wide open.
Yeah.
Last week I sent ripples through the ice cream community when I revealed that rainbow ice cream is just vanilla with different colours.
Yep. But then you had to retract on Paddle Pops.
I had a disclaimer built in because that's caramel with different colours.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be lying, Ando, if I said that, well, let's just say death threats have been flying around.
At you or just
around? But you mean, somewhere in the world, probably Syria.
South America.
Syria,
yeah, sure.
I mean, definitely there'd be death threats. You're not going to go a whole day without a death threat flying around. And one of those could land right on me. So that is the risk that I run. Very much like Russell Crowe in The Insider.
A letter accidentally sent to your house.
If the Prince of Kenya can send me an email offering me $20 million, I don't see why he can't also make a death threat at me.
Haim, go for it. What do we got?
Today, Ando, we're blowing something wide open that affects you and I both.
Damn.
And in affecting both of us, it affects the people. Mm-hmm. It's about the People's Island.
Oh.
Listeners of this show, regular listeners, would know that we are currently in the process, after what seemed like a outrageously wild dream to own our own island. We're currently in the process of leasing an island for 99 years.
Good as owning it.
In the Queensland region. Yeah, we'll all be dead, so, let's just say we own it for our natural lives.
Bit of government red tape going at the moment.
So much red tape. It looks like bloody rhythmic gymnastics in there with red ribbon flying everywhere in the government office, which is wonderful to watch, but it doesn't help us speed up the process of getting our island. Someone's been a little bit quicker, Ando, because now, unfortunately, when you go and find Iron Island, which is what it's called on Google Maps, just off the south coast of Marble Island, a much bigger, fancier show-off island, if you ask me. It's got its own little airport landing strip. If you go and find Iron Island, what used to just be it's very small, so you have to zoom in on Google Maps, so it's kind of just like an irregular, almost like a rhomboid. It's, you get down to that level where it's just sharp edges and lines. It used to just be sort of a normal-looking, irregular shape. Now, it's got a point of interest on it. So,
really?
If you look at the city, it might have, Macca's or...
What's the point of interest?
Boost Juice or whatever. But Jim's Juice Gym have somehow hacked into Google Maps.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do this if you're a business. I don't really understand the technology.
Probably not.
And have put themselves there on the island of... According to Google Maps,
so
they've just
gym.
Lied that they have a bloody outlet on our island.
How do we know they're lying?
Because we've got a good authority from our real estate agent that the only thing there, unless the gym workout is mining, because there's a disused iron mine there, unless it's just lugging rocks and busting open iron ore boulders, then they've completely misled us. Or unless the cows are somehow involved, the two cows that live on the island have somehow given Jim's Juice Gym permission. Either way, and I would say to Jim's Juice Gym... Yeah. Number one, those cows do not have the authority to give you permission to open up an island gym. Mm-hmm. Number two, we're already in talks with Packer to put a casino on the gym.
Exactly.
And if this has got in the way of it, and you've cost us our casino bid...
Guess who's getting a death threat?
Well, yeah. If a death threat lands on my desk, I might forward it to you. But for now, just the other bad thing that's happened to you is consider yourselves blown wide open. Can you believe
Some people
that?
say it's worse than a death threat.
Well, now you're marked forever. No one will go.
It's the happy hour, Hamish and Andy. Pretty excited about this. Just over a week ago now, we were discussing the sincere possibility of being able to purchase an island. It came up a while back. We managed to get a real estate agent of islands, Richard Van Hoff. He suggested a small island off Rockhampton, kind of central Queensland, heading towards the Great Barrier Reef, called Iron Island.
It's just off the it's off the foot of another island, an island called Marble Island, which, as far as islands goes, one of your fancier islands. Got a landing strip, got a lodge on it. I think people fish and hunt from there.
We'd be Sicily to Marble Islands,
If
Italy.
that, we'd be, we'd be a very small Sicily.
Yeah.
So we're really looking. I mean, if we're the presidents of Iron Island and really the people's representatives, because everyone owns it, we'd be looking first and foremost to form a peace treaty with Marble Island,
yeah, for sure.
and some sort of transportation pact with them, because I'd like to be able to use their landing strip, because there's only one lodge on Marble Island, so. It's not like they've got planes coming in and out all day.
No.
Like, I'm sure we could find a window to land.
We'll
there.
chat to air traffic control.
But the thing is, we
purchase,
haven't seen our island.
We haven't made the purchase yet, and a great fellow came forward, Craig, who says he's a chance to see it.
And it's very much like for those of you that have married a Russian bride, someone you've never seen before, see a still photo. Yeah. You have a website, you talk to people, everything seems great, but you should always send a mate along
to check her out.
See them, see if you think you might be compatible. And that's what we're hoping to do.
Craig joins us now. Craig, how is it that you're a chance to be getting your eyes, those pupils in your head on Island?
Hey, boys, how you going?
Yeah, very well,
great, mate.
Very well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. We're just families travelling up to Stanage Bay, which is the closest area to the island. It's actually quite close to there, and I'd love to go out and check it out.
Yeah, right. So will you be looking at the island from the mainland, or are you thinking of getting out a bit closer to the island?
We'll just go out there for the day, but you can see it just from the mainland.
Can you see?
Probably only about 15 minutes.
Even this is interesting.
Boat ride.
So you're going to jump in a boat and just head out, are you, bud?
Yeah, why not?
Cut a few laps for us. All right,
For the people.
This is great. Well, Craig, rise, because we are dubbing you the People's Island Inspector.
Yes.
And you shouldn't really you shouldn't buy a house before you get the architectural inspection. What we need you to do is get out there, get eyes on the island. See if you can see those two cows that we've been told are roaming around on it. Look for potential landing sites, because from satellite images, it looks like it's quite rocky around the edge of the island.
Hard to get to.
Just somewhere where we could lace up a dinghy on the side, because I'd love to. We need to be able to set foot on the island. That's almost a deal breaker for us.
Yep.
So how many days away are you from heading up there, Craig?
We're going over Easter.
Fantastic. And so then are you going to be there outside of Easter? I mean, is there a chance we could call you while you have your eyes on it, or is it just a break for Easter?
Just a break for Easter.
Yeah. So maybe on Tuesday when you're back, Tuesday after Easter Monday, Easter Tuesday, will you be back from your holiday?
Absolutely, yep.
So
I'll be back.
Can we chat to you then and just get the lowdown?
Yep, no worries.
Could I get you to take 15 photos as well?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, no, I can certainly take some photos. I'm sure 15 photos would cover the island.
And just a photo of the cattle if you see them.
That's probably what we're most interested in, quality of cow, you see them up there, because they have been on the island by themselves. We don't know how they got there, but if these cows exist, they're on there roaming around by themselves. Have you been out there before? I mean, have you ever just happened to have cruised by this island?
Well, I've been to Marble Island, which is obviously right beside it.
So you'd have seen it.
It's Italy to our Sicily,
Yeah. It's a pretty magic spot. You can see the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, great!
It's really pristine water and everything.
That's why we were going to get this 99-year lease on it. We're not getting a dud.
Yeah, great.
and what's the vibe like on Marble Island, which is some 100 times bigger than our tiny island? On Marble Island, is there a bit of a kind of... Do they scoff at the people of Iron Island?
Or are we a bit better, like kind of Monaco? Very small.
Exclusive.
Exclusive.
What's the vibe towards Island like?
I'm sure it'd be glowing.
Yeah.
Because there's not many people on Marble Island, is there either? I think is there a caretaker? Is there anyone there?
I think there's just the one kind of house there, so
Yep.
there'd just be the one family. I'm sure they'd like a neighbour.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't worry, we're
going to throw their balls back
currently
if they hit cricket. Beach cricket.
Hit them 200 metres. Currently in talks with James Packer to put a small casino on our island.
Yeah.
Do you think that will pose a problem?
No, I think that's quite a good idea.
Yep. Well, give us a couple of ideas of where you think we should put that in your photos.
If you could just highlight it with arrows, that'd be terrific.
Well, Craig, thank you very much. We look forward to chatting to you Tuesday.
No worries. Thanks,
all right, buddy.
Go,
Take
mate.
care.
Boat safely. Thanks, mate.
This is exciting.
Go. This is the advantage, Ando. The people, now that it's a people's island, you've got an army of people you can just dispatch, get eyes on the island, pick out some, and I think Packer's going to appreciate it too when we have our first sit down with him, that we've already got sites planned out.
A photo with an arrow pointing.
Now, he would get a lot of submissions every day, not all of them as detailed as that.
It's the happy hour. Haim, something's been brought to our attention, hasn't it?
Yeah, right.
It's to do with the People's Island. You may know that Hamish and I both were investigating separately, trying to buy an island, and then realised this and went, wow, maybe if we joined forces, we could buy the People's Island. Something for the show. It turns out we're in negotiations with Richard Van Hoff. He's an island real estate agent. That's actually real. And we're closer to getting a purchase done.
We are so close to pushing the paperwork through with the Department of Islands and other nonsensical purchases in the government. It's a very small island. It was called Iron Island, and it was just off the coast of Rockhampton. It's about 100 metres wide by 200 metres long. So enough to get a very small casino on there, which is sort of the long-term plan if we can get hold of Packer.
Yeah.
But before that happens, we actually have to get it. The other day, it did come to our attention that since we don't even technically have the 99-year lease on this thing yet, were we getting a bit ahead of ourselves because a gym company dropped themselves as a point of interest on the island, and apparently, so out of nowhere, we've suddenly got this gym on the island if you look at Google Maps. Now, we know for a fact there's nothing on the island except two cows and a disused iron mine from the 1800s.
Google now would have you believe otherwise.
Since then, there's been a flood.
I don't know how people do this. Maybe it's a very easy thing to do.
But the
impressed. Island is now changed from Iron Island to Island of Hamish and Andy, which
Dr. Moreau, inspired by Dr. Moreau,
which is dangerous because it's like painting a house before you've bought it, which you're not allowed to do generally.
It's like bringing removal trucks to the auction and just assuming you're going to move in.
Exactly. Haim, I'm sure you might have seen this as well, but there's certain other things that have popped up as points of interest on the island.
Well, I think we all know what the worst is.
The Havana Brown Shrine?
No, I think that's wonderful. Someone's put a historical point of interest, a shrine to Havana Brown. Now, you might be unhappy with that, Ando.
I am
because
it
signifies that something might have happened to her. She might be dead. I can assure you she's in perfect health. And the shrine was simply put there by you as a testament to your love. I'll tell you what I hate, the Tony Barber Shop.
Yeah.
Someone's now pretending there's a hairdresser on the island called the Tony Barber Shop. Tony Barber, of course, is the show's nemesis, and we would not open Tony Barber Shop.
I thought it was more a themed, like rather than a real shop, it was more of a themed kind of
memorabilia store.
Well, no,
we can if you want, but I think he only released one record.
I just like no, as in like a show themed kind of, I suppose, amusement statue whereby it's Tony's barbershop, but it's closed down. So we just have it
like
there,
a haunted house.
That's right. That's where I look.
Yeah, we could do that.
Hogg's Institute of Inventions is on there as well. There's also Hogg's Institute of Inventions and Stolen Ideas. There's two separate places.
The Stolen Ideas want to be a much bigger department. You've got it up in front of you and I don't. When I had a look this morning, Jim's Juice Gym, it's moved to the neighbouring island.
It's no longer there.
Hasn't it moved to Marble Island? I think someone moved it.
So it's no longer on our island,
and now it's been bumped to a neighbouring island.
It's now on it's on Marble Island now.
So it's almost like so many. Maybe there's a thing in the back end of Google where if you have too many shops, there's a Village Cinemas, I think, on our island.
There's Village Cinemas.
Too many stores or things on one small bit of land, it just goes, well, this can't be happening. So it's bumped it to the nearest bit of land.
John's Chicken, Waffle and Ice Cream House is also on the island. Apparently, none of this is there, Ham, but we haven't checked.
Well, we haven't checked, but when you look at the satellite images, it shows you what's unmistakably a barren island.
Yeah.
However, it's now quickly becoming sort of a utopia.
Yeah.
So, we don't know how you load stuff into Google Maps. I can't say I'm angry.
No.
Because it's a much simpler way than emailing us and telling us your suggestion. Like, what's the point of emailing the show and we just read, oh, there'd be nice to have a Village Cinemas there? Yeah. Wouldn't it just be simpler to tell the world there is a Village Cinemas there and put it on the map?
If you've got a suggestion, I've just noticed there's a Nando's on the island as well. If you've got a suggestion...
Get a haircut, go to Nando's, visit Hawks' Institute, pay my respects at the shrine, go see a movie, then swim across to Marble Island and work out at the gym.
Make sure you go and add whatever you think should be on
Load
the
it
island.
up! Load it up!
It's the happy hour. Happy hour, Hamish and Andy with you. And we mentioned earlier that we are going to chat to Craig, the People's Property Inspector, I suppose. He has gone over the Easter break up to Marble Island, and more specifically, Iron Island, which is the one we're thinking of buying.
That's where the People's Island is, Ando. And if until very recently you looked at Google and you Googled Iron Island, it would come up and it would say the island of Hamish and Andy.
Yes.
And when we first saw that pop up, we thought, wow, someone somehow tricked Google into renaming the island.
Google themselves. Mr. Google has just gone...
It sounds like this is a done deal, even though the paperwork hasn't gone through officially on the island yet. You guys are getting a 99-year lease on it. It's not a huge island. It's only 200 by 100 metres.
Size of a footy oval.
Pretty big. Floating off the just off the coast of Rockhampton and within a few hundred metres of a bigger, better island called Marble Island. And they've probably just gone, looks like it's going that way. Then we saw a gym popped up on Google Maps, and we thought, oh, that's impressive.
Yeah.
And from what we understood, all we had was a disused iron mine and two cows on there. And so for juiced gyms to get on there, we were pretty impressed. Then we saw a Village Cinemas pop up, and we thought, wow, we really better push the paperwork through on this island because it seems like
some assets,
people have realised what sort of hot property this is. Yep. And it's sort of like a reverse Cuba situation. When the communists took power, they took over all the businesses. Now, we haven't taken power and all these businesses are springing up. So as soon as we do get power, we get all the businesses. And since then, it's gone, if I can use an internet term, it's gone bananas because there are so many things that have popped up now. Somehow, for people that know how to fiddle with Google Maps.
Yeah. And drop pins and...
There are roads on it. There are swamps. There's a lot of... So there's the gold-coloured watch factory. Some of this we covered off on the other day.
I looked this morning and it was nude.
Google's got onto it. I managed to get a screen grab of it just before Google shut it down.
Okay.
Because the madness is crescendoed. Because we talked about the Village Cinemas and there was a few other things on there.
So people went there...
A section of the island had been carved off as a separate land for Hogs, the show's inventor.
Okay.
Horgania.
So
people are just dropping points of interest, dropping businesses, going crazy.
After we mentioned this, they went crazy.
I think it had something to do with us mentioning it.
And you think Google has then stepped in and stripped us of all identity?
I think Google's looked at it and gone, I don't think there is a University of Prowling. And I think I'm gonna take that in. And I don't think hell as a point of interest is actually on the island. Can I run you through a couple of others?
Well, yeah. What?
Hogwarts was on there for a bit. There's an underwater dungeon just off the coast.
Right.
Lake Willie is a body of water that's been inserted on or around the island that looks amazingly like how do you put it? Just some sort of salami-shaped object and two small chat potatoes. Frank Stallone's Clinic of Motivation is on there. Pants Off Reef is there. It's a reef shaped exactly like a pair of pants.
I would hope that honeymooners from overseas were looking at different islands to go, gee, this one looks chock-a-block.
Packed, and it's more packed than Macau. It's like looking at a little fiefdom.
What else did we suppose we had there?
The crazy thing is things are popping up and going down too. So it's sort of like downtown New York. I mean, like stores are opening, closing all the time. It's a cutthroat world.
Or the equivalent of Sim City, where people are actually building their empire.
To be honest, I'm not surprised so many stores do go under because we know it's an uninhabited island. Yeah. So if Village Cinemas would open and then be like, God, it's been 5 days, no one's coming to the movies, shut it down.
The cows have come twice.
But no sooner do they shut it down than something like the Prowling Cafe will set up. And then that'll get shut down too. Can I give you my absolute favourites?
Yeah.
On top of the fact that there's, Havana Brown Bay and a lot of stuff that you obviously built for DJ Havana Brown, your celebrity crush, there was a point of interest just off the East Coast. Yeah. And it simply says, Lachlan Falconer swam this far on Google Maps. Then as you look up the coast, sort of off the northeast coast, there's a slightly further out point that's labelled Lachlan Falconer's PB with flippers. So even when we get to the coast, now the island's back.
Who's Lachlan Falconer?
I don't know, he's a bloody good swimmer.
Can you
Because
contact
he swum, Ando, he has swum about 100 metres.
Can we then, if Lachlan Falconer, email the show, hamishandy.com, because we'd love to, if we do eventually buy it. Yeah.
He could be in our Coast Guard.
We need a giant seat for him.
Because he's a good swimmer.
Yeah, particularly with flippers.
Yeah, he's PB. He only actually improves about 5% with flippers on.
Really?
So he doesn't even need the flippers. And it's now nude. As you said, the island is just back to being an irregular polygon, just a patch of land floating in the
even
ocean.
Iron Island, its name is
It's lost all its name.
Yeah, it's
Google's Google's looked at it and gone, well, if you can't behave, now you have no name, which is, if you're a parent, is a great tactic.
It's basically chucked a giant morph suit on the whole island.
So now it's Ghost Island. But we will get to the bottom of it. Hopefully, Google will at least give us back Iron
and
Island.
We're gonna talk to Craig a little later on, who will tell us exactly what's on the island. He went there over the weekend.
He might have seen Lachlan Falconer setting his PB.
We've been excited about this all afternoon, Ham, because yes, we've talked about buying an island for the People's Island on behalf of the show. We hadn't set eyes on it, but boy, had we looked at it on Google Maps a lot.
And then accidentally mentioned that we looked at it on Google Maps, and then it was swamped by people meaning well.
Yeah.
In fact, I think our specific words were we encouraged the hacking.
Yeah.
And it got flooded with highways, village cinemas, cafes, points of interest. Google shut it down.
Google stepped in, so we don't know what's on it at the moment.
Now it's a ghost island. Doesn't even have a name.
One man does. His name's Craig. Craig, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Craig, first of all, how was the boating around that area near Rockhampton over the Easter break?
That's got to be the best weather I've ever seen there. So it was almost as if the island, if she put it on for us.
Yeah, she knew. It's like the island in Lost. Has a sort of a soul somehow. Now, mate, you are the first person we've ever had on the show who's actually seen the island. What does it look like?
Yeah, it's small. It's very small.
Yeah.
And
we know. Well, let's not forget we did set out to buy Australia's cheapest island.
Yeah, and we're going to put double beds in it instead of queen-size beds to make it look bigger.
I mean, I've been estimating off Google Maps 100 metres by 200 metres. We've sort of been saying size of a AFL footy oval.
Would that be right?
Yeah, I think that's about it. It's quite high, too. I didn't realise how high the peak was.
So we've got more volume than a low-lying island.
Seems like a dense island. Craig, the big one for me was I was worried. I heard it might have had a bit of height. I was worried you wouldn't be able to get onto it by paddling up.
Could you moor a dinghy?
I'm pretty sure you can. I mind you, when I went through there, it did look very rocky.
Right, so you didn't go on it.
No, just went past it.
You'd be trespassing. You'd be trespassing at this stage. We still haven't pushed through the papers for our 99-year lease. This does feel a lot like Captain Cook talking to one of his men after they've gone and had a bit of a scout around. Look,
is he Captain Cook and we're say the Queen?
No, I think he reports back to us. Oh, you Captain Cook and we're the Queen. Yeah, okay, we'll be.
Yeah, you're the King and Queen. That's how I thought it.
Look, in your professional opinion, do we acquire this for the Commonwealth of the show?
Who's paying the money? Is Grumpy Dave?
Nah, at this stage it's us.
Well, it's a bit of us. I mean, it might have to be called Arnott's Island down the track just for a little while, maybe. But it's a lease, so money-wise, the prices come down. I mean, it's going to be a 99-year lease, so over the 99 years, it's going to cost a lot. But we're dividing it up into bite-sized chunks like a mortgage.
Craig, first of all, did you see the cows?
Yeah, were the cows there?
No, I didn't see any cows. You probably need to renegotiate the lease about that.
Yeah, I reckon we've been diddled on those cows.
Yeah,
because how would they have even got there?
That comes down $86 a year, I would have thought, for a lease. The iron mine. Did you see any mining going on?
No, I didn't. That's obviously well and truly.
Could you build anything on it? Could Packer build a casino on it? We wanted
big enough for a very small boutique casino.
I think so, and I think because it used to be an iron mine, I'm thinking that there's probably some disused mines underneath. You could probably build.
Oh yeah, it's a
little room
casino in a tunnel.
Yeah, underground rooms.
Yep.
Yeah,
underground casino. Well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't know a lot about iron, but I looked online today. It's iron trades usually about $120 to let's say $130 a ton. So I think for any sort of money-making mining operation with our bare hands, bearing in mind we then have to put the iron in our inflatable dinghy and get it back to the other island.
Yeah.
I worry that mining is not a viable industry.
Yeah,
so turning to gambling might be a better option, gaming and tourism.
Craig, Yes or no? Should we acquire the island?
Seeing as the least, I say yes.
Yeah!
Great.
Get me Richard
Ding,
Van
ding,
Hoff
ding, ding,
on the
ding.
phone tomorrow because we've just run out of time.
We've run out of time, but
Sorry.
Craig, great scouting. And any kids listening to this, always get a building inspection. That's what you've just heard there. Don't jump into it. Buying an island is for life, unless you live longer than 99 years. Buying an island is a serious business. We will now push the paperwork through. Will we get him on the show tomorrow?
Richard Van Hoff, our real estate agent.
Island broker.
Island broker will get him on the show.
Wow, People's
tomorrow.
Island is one step closer to reality.
Alert our secretary that she has 24 hours to get Richard Van Hoff.
Walk the phone line over there herself.
I wouldn't think he's getting too many inquiries per day with regards to island purchases. Thank you for being part of the show. HamishNanny.com for anything you may have missed. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Have a good one.
3, 2, 1.
You've reached the happy hour hotline. Please state your topic of discussion.
Public announcements.
Esta hora feliz que me gustaría hablar del tema, which translates into English as
Public announcements.
Well, everyone's agreed to drop everything because it's 3 o'clock. And Hamish and Andy have declared today's topic is...
Public announcements.
This is Hamish and Andy's Happy Hour.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hamish and Andy with you, back for another happy hour where the show starts with a topic and where it goes, we don't really know. But thank you for everyone going to hamishandy.com/topics. If you see a topic that catches your eye, you can help build the show.
Absolutely. It is built by the people, Ando, and today, public announcements. I'll kick the show off with a public announcement.
Yeah, this is a pretty exciting one, isn't it?
Too many poppadoms.
What?
I had too many poppadoms for lunch. I think I had 10.
Yeah, it looked like 10, but that was
a whole butter chicken.
I'm not sure.
Ow!
That's become a public announcement because you've just made it public.
I'm sweating.
But I don't think it was necessary, that one particularly, because the one
I'm
I was
warning children on their way home from school who were thinking of eating 10 poppadoms at the local Indian store. Don't do that. Get home, be treat-wise, go and play some sport.
Okay, the public announcement I thought you were referring to...
Oh, the island.
...is straight after this.
Yeah, right.
We're going to chat to Richard Van Hoff.
He is our island real estate agent. Yeah. As you may or may not know,
this sounds like we've made up that he is an island real estate agent. We've employed him.
He's ours.
It does... but it's,
we use him for all our island purchases.
It sounds like a made-up thing, though, an island real estate agent. But
he's a real man with a real name, even though Van Hoff sounds made up. And we talked to him after this because, this show is trying to acquire its very own island, the cheapest island in Australia. But as we're finding out, there's still a lot of red tape involved in getting your own tiny inhabitable island.
Richard thinks...
Uninhabitable.
Richard thinks we are steps closer, Ham.
Yeah.
He joins us straight after this. It's the Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy. The Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy with you, and that music means we're talking island, Ham.
We're very close, Ando, to getting the People's Island. It's been quite a road from, at first, wondering, could we buy one of the cheapest islands in the world, to then finding out there could be one in Australia, to then discovering it seemed very possible. A 99-year lease was a real chance. Then everyone got online, found the island. We might have encouraged some hacking of Google Maps. The island was overpopulated with hundreds of stores and roads. Google stepped in, they shut it down.
We're thanking Aldi. We should point out that that should have been the first
we're thanking Aldi.
Shop on the island.
We're also scowling at Google for shutting down the party, but everything's sorting itself out now.
But back to thanking people, Richard
Van Hoff, the People's Island real estate agent. How are you, Richard?
Good, guys. How are you?
God, we're good. We're so excited because...
We got the go-ahead yesterday.
We've recently filled out a form that essentially is to kickstart the 99-year lease of this island.
Now, talk us through the form, Richard.
The form is fairly bureaucratic, but in itself, what it says is just,
give us an island.
Sign here, give me your money, press hard, that sort of thing. But in essence, it should be a simple process.
Now, usually when there's a deal of this level, because this, as we've said, this is blowing the show's budget forevermore. And we're leasing it year by year for 99 years, so we don't have to come up with the lump sum at once.
Which is
thank God. We can sort of rename the island McDonald's Island or whatever each year for whoever will cough up the money. But usually this is still a big transaction. I mean, we're getting an island here. in films, they teach us to get the merchandise first before we give the money. Now, should they slide us the island first before we slide them the money? Do we have to slide them the money first? How do we do it?
Well, if you want to go up and have a sneak preview, why not? Let's do it.
Oh, jeez, would we
that
ever?
Would be amazing.
I mean,
I want to step into the island once we've got it.
It's already costing us enough, though. I mean, to go up and have another inspection.
To be honest, airfares and stuff up there would just add another 50% to this year's island costs. And we're trying to live the lifestyle of having an island, but we should warn you that the budget's very slim.
So, Richard, the news we got, and this is what we're excited about, is the forms have to be filled out, and then we have to then submit them. How long will it take for them to sign off on these forms?
Generally, it's about 90 days. Within 90 days, you should have it.
90 days.
On an island now!
3 months. Wow.
Jeez, you don't want to have to need an island in a hurry, do you? So that's probably to stop villains getting one.
So July 20 is when we can expect it in the mail or thereabouts.
I would say so. It may be a little bit earlier than that, but generally about 90 days.
Whoa. And will it just be, like a thumbs up sort of emoticon, like a big thumbs up on a piece of paper? Because it's from, who is it again? The Department of Natural Resources and Minerals and Islands?
That's it.
Department of having your own island. Department of making dreams come true. Whoever the department is that we're setting this. And thank you again for all your help on this, Rich, because you've just really been the bulldozer when it comes to these forms.
Oh, there'll be a plaque. You'll be on a plaque somewhere, Richard.
No, something I enjoy doing. Legal forms. But so if all goes well, they read this application. We've crossed our T's, dotted our I's. They look at it. They go, all right, you seem like the kind of guys.
Yep.
Fair bit of money.
You're going to give us the lease, and they chuck us the keys.
That's what they do.
So at this point, what grounds? I mean, as a chance of getting it, are we at 99% now of getting it?
I think you're up in that percentile now. Yeah.
What if some billionaire from China hears this on the podcast and just goes, I'm just going to ruin these guys' dreams, and can they come in and snatch the island?
It'll take more than 90 days for them to translate.
So we're first. So we're first in best dressed.
Yeah, I think so.
That is really good to hear, because we've had a history on this show of having ideas and people stealing them. So that's very nice. Richard, we haven't discussed your clip. We haven't discussed...
Yeah, what's your take?
We haven't discussed your percentage at all.
What's the VIG?
Just a deck chair and a bottle of Glenfiddich, mate.
Something we can accommodate.
Yes.
All right, well, we've got that. So the only other thing that I need to quickly touch on is the fact that our island is a few hundred metres off the shore of another island called Marble Island. They have an airstrip on their island, like a little dirt landing strip. We need to form some sort of formal alliance with them, permission to use the landing strip, things like that. Do you know the owners of that island?
Know them intimately. Lovely people.
Oh, so great. Chances of forming some sort of, NATO pact with those guys?
Yeah, not a problem. I think it's probably on the same deal as you're trying to strike with me. A bottle of scotch and a deck chair.
We're going to need to go to the scotch and chair shop tonight.
Thank you, Richard. Don't know where the cows ended up, but we'll take that up with you another time because we've got to go.
Yeah, true. We have heard the cows aren't there. It doesn't matter. We're too happy.
Hey, Keynes is today's topic on the happy hour and getting us started. But
here's the thing, though. Have you checked the mail today?
I have.
I have as well.
But unfortunately, we're about 2 months off.
No island as yet. Yeah. However, the People's Island, it's in the pipeworks. If you've been listening to the show, you'll be aware that we managed to find Australia's cheapest island. It's just off the coast of Rockhampton.
In Queensland.
It's not massive. No. But we've managed to secure, we hope, a 99-year lease.
Yep.
It's with the relevant government authorities at the moment. They said they'd let us know via writing. Every day we ran up to the mailbox. No island thus far.
No.
We've been told it's a done deal. So we're claiming it. The people have an island. We're just waiting for the actual keys to the island.
Well, yeah, and the paperwork in our name.
Once we get the island, though, similar to keys to the city, we have a very important decision to make.
You brought this up with me. I wasn't. I hadn't crossed my mind. I feel like an idiot.
Well, what's our role on the island? I mean, it's the People's Island, so everyone's technically... No, it's got to be better than that. Everyone's technically an owner.
Yeah.
I mean, are we lords of the island?
Overlord?
I like overlords.
Seems a bit nasty, though. We want to be
Am I thinking, is Grand Maester a real thing, or is that just on Game of Thrones?
I think it's a rapper, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's Grand Master Flash.
Okay.
No, but I think the Meisters on Game of Thrones are the guys in charge of the crows. That's what we should get to.
What?
Crows, like they have on Game of Thrones.
All right, so...
And just hope that they deliver the message.
Oh, actual crows.
Crows, yeah.
Not like sentrymen that are on the border.
The ravens. The ravens.
Which
is a great plot device, because if you're writing something medieval and you can't have text message or emails, but you need to know what's going on elsewhere, get a bird.
Send it. Yeah.
But I digress. So anyway, let's just assume let's just name a...
I like Meisters.
I'm picking something out of the thin air here, kings. So we're kings of the island.
Yeah.
But as kings of the island, and the people's kings, we're very generous.
Sounds a bit Joffrey-like now.
No. Pretty relaxed kings.
Okay.
We are able to grant someone keys to the island. I mean, I assume that's the highest award. Like someone getting keys to the city, keys to Melbourne, keys to Sydney.
That's true. Lord Mayor normally does it, doesn't it? No?
Yeah. So I guess with Lord Mayors.
Probably both.
Yeah. So as king mayors, what do...
Sounds like a horse breed.
A pretty good one too.
Exactly.
Who do the king mayors give the keys of the city to?
Wow. Okay, first off the bat, I mean, we don't...
Do you give it to the Pope? Do you straight up or Obama, or do you just immediately hit up another world leader to build ties?
Because the thing about keys to the city is normally only happens if someone visits.
You can send them out, though.
No, you don't. I think keys come, you go, thank you for coming.
Here's the keys.
Key.
Come again.
Yeah, please come again.
Come again if we're locked.
That's why Hobart gave it to Boy George.
That's right. Well, we know.
And they didn't give it to us.
Well, very, very passionate followers of the show will be aware that the one thing that remains on our to-do list is to get keys to the city of Hobart. We were sort of promised keys by the old mayor there, and the keys never showed up.
That's who we should definitely not give keys to.
So do we build a list of people that don't get keys to the city?
Exactly. Anyone on our wall of villains.
Villains don't get the
villains of the show. And also,
So the mayor of Hobart can never get the keys.
Yep. And all ex-mayors.
God, you know what? This is an inter-island war.
Yeah.
I mean, Tassie's an island. We're an island.
Can we call them now?
I think we always have the number on standby. Do we have the number of the...
Well, we can call the mayor's office. We don't have his personal private number.
Let's call the mayor's office.
We never have. As soon as we would get it, they would change it. Can we call the Lord Mayor's... who's this? Of Tasmania?
Yeah. Hobart.
Hobart, sorry. Yeah, quick refresher on the name just before he answers, Jack.
Damon Thomas.
Thank you. Damon.
Good afternoon, Lord Mayor's office. Alex speaking.
Hi, Alex. How's it going there?
Good, thank you.
That's good.
It's Hamish and Andy calling.
Is it?
Yes. We've spoken to His Excellency Lord Mayor Damon Thomas before.
Yeah. Is he available, or would you like just to pass on the message yourself?
I can pass on the message for you if you like.
Alex, great news. Yeah. The Hamish and Andy show, on behalf of the people, have recently acquired an island. But here's the thing. You may or may not be aware that we're feuding with anyone that holds the position of a Lord Mayor of Hobart because they've refused to give us the keys to Hobart, keys to the city. Now, we just want to, now that we're in a position of power, send a message back to the Lord Mayor of Hobart saying that we're not giving them the keys to our island.
Oh, okay.
Right.
If you could pass that on.
It's sort of an aggressive... I guess it's a declaration of war.
Yeah.
Don't say that though, but definitely sort of
pass it on.
Phrase it in that kind of loose tone.
Yeah. Okay.
Because just between us and you, Alex, we're sort of trying to force his hand here to make him panic a bit and give us the keys to the city. So tell him if he gives us keys to Hobart, he gets keys to the island.
Oh, okay. I'll do that.
And just so you know, Alex, you're entitled to keys and you're entitled to visit the island anytime. This is
thank you.
That's a pleasure.
Yeah, you just work for him. You're not part of... I mean, you can't choose who's the mayor, who's not the mayor.
No, I can't.
Well, you can. I mean, I assume you get to vote in the elections.
But thank you, Alex. Cheers.
Okay, bye.
Thanks, Alex.
It's the Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy. Happy Hour, Hamish and Andy with you. Time for some island chat. If you've just tuned in, Haim, you and I went about trying to locate the cheapest island we could. We found one, and we wanted to buy it on behalf of the show. It'll become the People's Island. It's a small island called Iron Island, just off the tip of Marble Island, off Queensland coast, on your way to the Barrier Reef.
If you would like to look at it on Google Maps, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. We're just having a bit of a struggle with Google at the moment.
Yeah, a bit of a feud.
Look, we might have encouraged people to get on there and say things that weren't on the island are on the island. And after several hundred businesses opened up on a very small patch of island in the Pacific Ocean, Google not only stripped all the points of interest out, but they even took the name off the island. So at the moment it's unnamed, but it does have a name. It is Iron Island, and it is next to Marble Island.
Someone can tell us whether those businesses are there or not, Ham, is Peter. He's the caretaker of Marble Island.
Yeah, our neighbouring island.
Yeah, we're kind of keen to grease that wheel, I would say.
We want a peace treaty, but before we talk to him, we have heard from the real estate agent that's helping us broker this deal that a deck chair and a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of scotch might help secure the peace deal.
Yeah, and the reason we need that is because he does have an airfield.
Oh, we can't get to the island without his help.
Anyway, he's the caretaker. Peter, thank you for joining us.
That's fine.
You are the caretaker of Marble Island, just off the tip of... I like to think that your island's off the tip of ours, but maybe it's the other way around.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like that, but you can walk there at low tide.
Oh, can you?
Oh, wow.
So at sometimes Marble Island and Iron Island are joined.
So,
yeah, for about 12 hours a day.
Right.
Is there a fence or anything? Is there a checkpoint like North and South Korea, or is it very open?
No, we'd have to hire labour to do that, and we don't do that here.
Yeah, right.
I like your attitude.
So, Peter, are you nervous that we might be neighbours with you?
No, I heard you mention a treaty before, or some sort of system whereby we can help each other. Now, I've got something you want. What have you got that I could use?
Straight to the bargaining table, Pete.
Nice, Peter. Yes.
All right, okay.
Well, Peter's obviously referring to the airstrip that is on the bigger island, Marble Island, that we'd have to land there.
First of all, can planes fly into your island? Can they land on the airstrip?
Yes, they can.
And do they fly out of Rockhampton?
They do.
Yeah, right. How many people, is anyone on the island at the moment, or are you there by yourself?
I'm here on my own at the moment.
Yeah, and so people, from what I understand from the internet, people go into Marble Island, camp or something for for a weekend, stay in the little cabin there, have a whale of a time, maybe do a bit of fishing, and then fly out.
That's basically how it works. Yeah, they don't camp though. We've got a good unit here. It'd be about 3.5 to 4 stars, I guess.
Oh, wonderful, Peter.
Bloody lovely.
So you're not.
I'm sort of making small talk. I'm thinking about what we can offer you.
I know what we can offer him. So Peter, but just so
just remember, we don't use money here.
Yeah, that's fine.
We've got to barter.
Yeah, right. Sure.
Well, that suits us,
and
because we spent all our money getting the island,
and we won't use threats, Peter, because we know that you're there by yourself, and we're not going to come there.
And you're a much bigger island. What is the mood like? You are the only person on Marble Island at the moment.
That's right.
What's the mood like on Marble Island amongst the residents about us becoming neighbours?
Oh, that's fine. I guess I've got the final say, and I can always, put barbed wire on the airstrip or something like that if I don't want you to come. But I welcome visitors.
Right.
Right.
Okay,
Peter, I hear that you're in the market for a deck chair.
I am.
Okay, great.
Where did you find that out?
We have our
ways.
We're on the mainland at the moment, doing a bit of digging around. You might have noticed we're not on our island.
We also heard that a bottle of scotch might be nice if it's strapped to the back of the deck chair.
No, gin.
Sorry, mate.
Just adjust the order.
Yeah. We don't drink scotch. We drink gin here.
Peter, as the first...
It's got to be an upmarket deck chair. It's got to be vinyl.
Vinyl deck chair.
Certainly can do that.
Okay,
we'll go to the camping store. Peter, this is the first official act that Andy and I have made as King Mayors of the island. We hereby officially offer you, Sir Peter of Marble Island, our neighbour, one top-of-the-range deck chair,
vinyl,
and a bottle of Bombay Sapphire gin.
Fantastic.
Do we have a peace treaty?
We do.
Yes!
That is how we... And may this peace treaty be for 99 years?
Yeah, well, you might have to replenish the barter every now and then, though, if it's for that long.
99 years or for life of chair.
Peter, thank you very much for joining us, mate.
No worries.
We'll catch up with you if we finally get the paperwork through. Might be jumping the gun here.
Well, that's the thing. We've still got over a month to wait for the paperwork, but... when it comes through, we will take Petey's chair. We will secure the People's Landing strip on the neighbouring island, and we'll dinghy or walk across to our island.
Do you reckon he'd trust us to bring the chair and the gin on the plane?
Yeah.
Or would he want it in advance before we land the plane, considering...
No, I very much see it like we land, we give him the chair. If we don't have the chair, he puts us straight back on the plane, he makes us fly out.
Hey, before we go, something has come to our attention that... Look, we're not really sure where we stand on it, are we? We've probably angered one individual.
We might have, Ando.
And maybe many of his followers.
I mean, we've talked a few times today about rules.
Yep.
And one of the big book of rules is the federal law.
Yep.
And that's one of the rule books that everyone has to live by. And within that, the government also sort of upholds that. Yeah. I'm no expert on it, but that's pretty much the way it works. Yeah. Ando and I...
to be in government, though, and one of the rule...
makers.
And signer-offerers...
Yeah, movers and shakers.
You do need to be voted in.
Of course you do. However, the reason we're talking about this is, I mean, it falls under the topic loosely also of the island that we're looking at purchasing on behalf of the people. If you've not listened to the show before, the radio show is in the process of obtaining a 99-year lease from the Commonwealth of Australia on a very, very small island.
All the money we have left.
Forever.
Yes.
We'll never have any more money on the show. We'll now go each year into leasing the island. But if you listen to the show, you can say you're a part owner in an island.
Yes.
It's the people's island. Now, the island is just off the coast of Queensland. It's about the size of a footy field.
Yeah.
It's a blip on the radar. We thought there's no big deal calling ourselves the King Mayors of the island. It's sort of a new title we invented.
Yeah.
And then, once we actually get the paperwork
we couldn't
through,
really decide on King or Mayors.
Yeah, and once we get the paperwork through, then, we'll start appointing other positions on the island.
Yeah.
It'll be benevolent King Mayors, I would like to think. However...
It turns out, Ham, that the island already has a mayor. Yeah. A Lord Mayor.
Yeah. Well, it falls under, I suppose, technically, if you want to, how before we were talking about the old law book, if you want to look at that, it does fall under the Shire of a place called Livingston Shire Council in Queensland.
And
like a lot of shires, it has a mayor.
and the current Lord Mayor of the island, the People's Island, joins us now. His name's Bill. Bill Ludwig, thank you for joining us, and apologies for trying to usurp your authority and just calling ourselves King Mayor off the bat.
Look, that's fine, guys. And can I say I'm not a Lord Mayor, just an ordinary mayor, not a Lord Mayor unless you're the mayor of a capital city. But
right.
I would be delighted for you guys to take over that area. In fact, I would even support if you wanted to do a secession that we could do that, because we've got absolutely zero ratepayers, and in fact, the only people going to vote for you on that island are goats.
Come out swinging!
Wow! I didn't expect you to be involved in some sort of mayoral debate this early on, except we're both on the same team here. So you're saying that our move to become King Mayors of Hamish and Andy Island, which was formerly Iron Island, is supported by the overarching Shire.
Yeah, look, and my advice from the table, I've just left the meeting, is that you guys go for it big time, but there is a rider, and that's our staff have collectively said that they want, and this isn't bribery and corruption anyway.
Okay.
You'd have
Sounds
to put
like
it on gift registers, but you'd have to supply them with hats and t-shirts, all right? and an invite to the happy hour.
Okay.
Now that's coming from the staff, so and I certainly support that request as well.
Well, that's true. Okay. Well, I mean, it's a good move. Yeah, it's a good move for Livingston Shire.
No wonder he was voted
because you've got a little patch of land there, as Bill said, it's gone from paying zero rates and
they don't give a toss
giving nothing in the coffers, and now it's probably one of the Shire's leading producer of hats and t-shirts.
But bottom line is, the other rider is you've got to run the show from there so that we get regular promotion for our fantastic Shire, and in particular, guys, you've picked a great island there because the fishing up in our part of the world is absolutely extraordinary. So if you're into fishing, you've scored big time with your choice of island.
Mayor Ludwig, you've come out with a list of demands, but if we secede, say if we actually remove ourselves from your Shire...
True, you might have to invade to get the hats and t-shirts.
Mate, it could be worse. It could be Game of Thrones, okay? So you guys are getting off easy.
Okay.
Well, we promise to be more of a Ned Stark and less of a Joffrey.
Well, Bill, good. That sounds fantastic.
I'll let you know, though, if we do hatch our dragon eggs, all hell could break loose.
Well, Bill, thank you for joining us, mate. We didn't expect that to occur. We're thrilled that we can go on calling ourselves King Mayors. Do you want to change your name to being the King Mayor of the Livingston Shire?
No. Look, I'll just stay where I am, and that'll be fine. But we would be delighted for you guys to relocate to our wonderful part of the world.
Yep.
And in fact, our deputy mayor sort of said he'll even take you out in the fishing boat to get you started.
Oh, this is unbelievable.
You are a glorious man.
I love the idea of seceding, but I want to do it in a peaceful way.
Yeah.
I mean, if we do secede, let it be known that, Bill, you'll always be a prince of the island.
And can I sort of say, I doubt that you're going to have much revolution from the goats there.
Yeah, that's true.
But I understand they're very tame, as long as you don't try to eat them.
Yeah, true. In terms of land masses to take over, we thought we'd start on the smaller end of things.
Bill, thank you for joining us, mate. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely delighted, guys. See ya.
Long live the man.
It's all we've got time for this afternoon on the show. Incredible.
And, this is blessing from the top.
Should we should. He was a very good operator.
Yeah.
Should we headhunt him to get him across to ours?
Poach him as our deputy.
Yeah.
I mean, he will be. But I mean, I'm happy to have him as a permanent. He can be Prince Man.
He's a Prince Man.
So I mean, he can't overrule us.
Yeah, I mean that's what they do in Game of Thrones. So you do marry into different.
I'm marrying him off to you, Ando. That's all we've got time for. Thanks for joining us, guys.
The podcast, HamishAndy.com. Keep helping build the People Show with the topics there. We'll catch you tomorrow.
See you soon.
Hamish and Andy with you. We've just heard, I mean, today's topic's bad tourist attractions. We've heard of two great ones just there, Ham.
We certainly have, Ando. The Big Spud, the Big Oyster.
Yes. Across Australia. It got us thinking, didn't it?
What made us jealous?
It did, didn't it?
Because if you've not been following the show as closely as you would have liked to have, or as we would have liked you to have over the last few weeks and months, we have been discussing our acquisition of the People's Island.
Yes, we're trying to buy an island.
Our dream, if you listen to this show, for you to be able to say to your friends, by the way, guys, I own an island.
Yeah.
The paperwork is going through. I know we say that a lot, but it's a government thing.
20th of July apparently is when we can expect
they're ballparking
the
us
mail
there.
to come back in that we own an island.
We look at the letterbox, but we're looking good for a 99-year lease of a very, very small, probably Australia's smallest island off the coast of Rockhampton, about the size of a footy field.
Is that enough, Ham, for people to come, that it's the smallest? No.
No.
Australia love big things.
Can we put something that's the biggest on something that's probably the smallest?
Yeah.
Ando and I have just been having a bit of a think. What big thing can we get on the island? Because once you get a tourist attraction, the hard thing about getting the island is, let's be honest, foot traffic. We don't have a lot of foot traffic.
No one there.
It's remote, but it's very nature and technical definition.
So if we set up any type of store, we'd need an attraction to try and bring people in.
James Packer is not going to agree to build a casino on there. We're not going to be able to push that through if we can't tell him that no customers are going to. If we can't tell him that customers are going to be there. Yeah. If we put something big on the island, then you start getting a flow of people, and success breeds success. And then we got him in the casino.
What are you thinking? Sombrero?
Big sombrero would be amazing. I worry that Mexico has it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want me to check? World's biggest sombrero?
Well, nah. Because it also has a. I mean, I know it's the happy hour signature hat, but it doesn't have. It has too much of an international feel, sombrero. I don't think it's quite right for us.
Okay, the world's biggest sombrero. I think I'm just having a quick look here. It's on a tower.
Yeah, right.
Near somewhere called Fort Pedro. It's bloody big. It's like the size of a water tower.
Yeah, the Mexicans would have pulled that off.
I don't know if it is Mexico, but I reckon it stinks. It stinks to me like it's on the border.
Really obscure, Ham.
So no one's got the world's biggest thing.
Obviously done it.
Like I'm just spitballing here, but like hair clippers. Or something. Like a 10-foot tall pair of hair clippers.
Not tough to build. Let's go something
simple.
Something simpler. Like, is it thimble? Is it just the world's biggest thimble? Yeah,
Monopoly piece.
Well, yeah, the world's biggest Monopoly piece.
Well, what's the easiest to the Monopoly piece? Is probably a thimble.
I'd say the thimble.
No, I can do better than this. This is not good. Okay. World's biggest cannonball?
That's just a big ball bearing.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we've got an iron on the mine. There's an iron mine there, so we've got enough iron on the island.
What about something very, very small so you don't have to go that big, like world's biggest ant?
Oh, okay. But that's, I mean, you see that with the sheep. They've gone so big with the merino in Goulburn. I still think the world's biggest, if we just made an ant as big as a shoebox, it's still pretty big.
That's
but
the thing.
I don't think it's going to be enough. Do we go smaller than that? Like smaller
would we go
than
world's smallest?
World's smallest?
Would we go world's the smallest?
Yeah.
A tiny banana?
Yeah, well, it has to be smaller than those candy bananas.
No.
Buy.
I mean, like almost microscopic.
Well,
so it would exist in a glass box, and you have to go to a viewing platform
There's a microscope.
To see it under a microscope.
That's a great idea.
Small banana.
So we have a small banana.
No, the world's tiniest
The world's smallest banana. It's inside a glass case.
And there's a viewing platform you walk up
that
to.
You have to put 20 cents in.
And it pays for itself one at a time.
Yeah.
You get to go look down the microscope and see the banana.
Small banana.
Here's the beauty.
We just put a picture in.
We just put a little photo.
That's what I was thinking.
I hope people don't hear this. When we're laughing about how we can trick everyone.
But we put a little photo inside the microscope. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And so you put 20 cents in,
but
and then
you
the
have
photo
a glass box with a speck.
Yeah,
and so we're like, it might look like nothing, but look in the microscope, and it's the world's smallest banana.
Yeah.
Either that, or we really do make it.
People can email other suggestions, but they probably won't be better than that. It's the happy.
I'm gonna look into building it.
It's the happy hour.